So I've just arrived into Khiva after a 9-10 hour drive from Bukhara via 5 ancient fortresses along the Silk Road. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. I'll include a link below. Khiva is one of the best preserved medieval cities on the old Silk Road. One of the best preserved cities in Central Asia. It's a walled city surrounded by these walls that you can just about see behind me. It's about 7 at night now, so I'm going to leave the bulk of exploring Khiva till tomorrow when we've got a full day. But I'm going to come out tonight, just see what it's like at night. It should be going dark soon as well. I'm going to get a bit of something to eat, and then we'll see what Khiva has to offer. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people compare it to Disneyland, saying it's too well preserved, and others say it's really atmospheric and authentic. We'll see which it is. It does seem very well manicured, very perfect so far from the outside of the city, and what I could see when we were driving in, it does seem a lot more manicured than Samarkand and Bukhara. But let's head into the Ichan Kala, into the old city, and see what it's like. Didn't realise is you've got to buy a 2-day ticket to enter the walled bit of Khiva, so the bit behind me, the bit that I've actually come here to see. So I'm going to have to buy the ticket tomorrow, then I can use it on Friday and Saturday when I've got 2 full days, and it seems relatively expensive for Uzbekistan. It's something like 250,000 som. 250,000 som. Well, let's go and get something to eat. I found a restaurant that sounds nice, not too far from here. I'm hoping it's outside of the city walls and not in. But I might just have a wander around tonight outside of the city walls and see what there is to see. And then we'll head inside the Ichan Kala, the city walled area, tomorrow and the day after. So I've stumbled across a restaurant called Khiva Moon down a back street near the Ichan Kala. It's really empty, but I've managed to find vegetarian plov, so I'm going to be having that in about a 45-minute wait apparently. Time for the vegetarian plov that I've waited so long for. It's quite greasy. Gone dark in Khiva. It's about 9 PM. The city walls are all lit up. It's a shame I can't get into them just yet. But that restaurant, the service was really odd. It was really slow. They seemed a bit angry when they were putting the plates down. When I asked for the bill, they huffed. And then when I left them a tip, they basically shouted at me because it wasn't enough. And they wanted more money. They said tip, tip when I walked out. So, yeah, I won't be going back there again for the next couple of days I'm here. Just move my camera away, there's a police car here. It's now really windy and cold. I think I'm going to head back to my hotel for the night, and then we'll come out and get the tickets to go into the Ichan Kala, into the city walls tomorrow morning after breakfast, and then we'll have it for 2 days, so we can use all the ticket all of tomorrow and all of the day after before I leave. One thing I do need to find is an ATM, because I'm now running out of cash, and Uzbekistan is still largely a cash-based economy. So I need to go and find an ATM somewhere before tomorrow morning, otherwise I can't pay for the tickets. Back to the hotel. I've stumbled across a creepy closed Ferris wheel in the dark. Khiva feels a lot more edgy than Samarkand or Bukhara. There are just people stood on street corners loitering. I'm sure it's perfectly safe because Uzbekistan is effectively a police state, but it just feels a bit edgier. And I don't know where I'm going. There's a big flag here. So this is a children's theatre, Korazm Vilayati Kogilchok Teatri. I probably butchered the pronunciation, but it seems like a children's theatre of some kind next to a theme park. But yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, what's this? I was going to say I'm going to head back to my hotel. I've just stumbled across something else and I don't want to fall down here. That's something I've noticed across Uzbekistan. They just have massive wide open drains right at the edge of the walkways, and if you're not looking you'll fall down them. There's a statue of some guy in a turban. Let's go and say hi to this guy, then we'll head back to the hotel for the night and then pick this up again tomorrow when we can get into the actual old city. A huge flag flying. And this guy is statue of Avaz Otar. I don't know who Avaz Otar is, but that's his statue. Right, back to the hotel. It is freezing cold and really windy. It's now -7 Celsius. So let's head back now. Good morning. I didn't sleep very well. That road is actually quite busy at night, and cars go past beeping the horns as loud as they can all night. There seem to be fireworks going off as well. Well, let's go and explore Bukhara properly today once we've got a ticket. Apparently you can enter the Ichan Kala old city without a ticket, but there were barriers when I went and people were being stopped. So I don't know whether you can or you can't, but I'll buy a ticket anyway. I'm just going to go for a bit of breakfast at 7:30 this morning, and then we'll go and explore. This is Uzbek music channel. So if you've ever wondered what Uzbek music is like, well, watch Iqbal channel. Oh, it is freezing this morning. It's -7 and there's a bit of snow as well. Well, let's go and explore Ichan Kala and go and get a ticket to get inside. I think I might be the only person in my hotel. When I went up to breakfast, the guy was asleep on the table, and when I walked out he shot up and said, "Oh, we've been waiting for you to have breakfast. It's all ready for you." And when I said, no, I'm done already, he said, oh no, and started clearing everything away. So I might be the only person in my hotel. Well, let's go into the Ichan Kala. There's building work happening everywhere in Uzbekistan, it seems. Literally everywhere I've been, there's at least a bit of building work going on. It cost me 250,000 som, which is about £15. It's a 2-day pass, and it'll get me access to all of the museums in the Ichan Kala, except a couple, the woman said. I'm not sure if I'm meant to be stood up here, but this is one of the main sites. So this is the Kalta Minor or Kalta minaret. It's probably the most iconic attraction in Khiva. It's on all of the posters and postcards and stickers and maps and everything, and it was left unfinished. And it's covered in marble tiles, except in certain areas where it was deliberately not finished. But I'm here to see if this is like Disneyland or whether it's authentic. Well, let's head a bit deeper into the Ichan Kala. There's a few more attractions to see, but this is probably going to be the most impressive, let's be honest. This guy looks happy. What's he got in his bowl? Looks like he's been drinking. Some first impressions. A lot of the old buildings have been turned into restaurants and shops. Which is kind of a shame, but that's the way the world's going. Tourism is heavily relied on in Uzbekistan now, particularly in places like Khiva. So a lot of the historic monuments are being protected because they're being turned into tourist attractions. So it's about 9:30 in the morning now. It's relatively quiet for what is Uzbekistan's most famous tourist city. I think I've seen about 5 people, and some of them were locals who I'm guessing live here. But this does feel different to Bukhara and Samarkand. It does feel manicured. So I've just been checking my ticket and she sold me a 1-day ticket. I asked for a 2-day ticket. So 250,000 som, so about £15 for 1 day. Up until the 19th century, a lot of the Ichan Kala was a slave market. Some of these buildings are not that old. So I guess these are the city walls then, the outer walls. They've got turrets on them. Everything's shut. Have we just left? We just, I think we're now outside of the Ichan Kala. So what have we actually paid 250,000 some for then? If you can just walk in through the back entrance with nobody, there's no barriers here. I just had to scan my ticket to get through at the front. There's literally no barriers or gates at this side. It's also really cold. So behind me, that you can see somewhere here, is the Islam Khoja minaret. It was actually built in the 20th century, but it's the tallest building in Khiva, and apparently at night it's really pretty, really well lit up. So we'll come back tonight to see that. There's apparently a museum attached to it, but it's shut like everything else. Literally everything's shut. What have I paid £15 for? But these are the tombs of some people. Potentially the rulers of Khiva. Just finished up in the madrasa of something Khan II. They've just got any old stuff. A couple of Russian and Chinese vases, some documents, just random documents, It's a nice building, but the artifacts inside don't really relate to much. Everything else still seems to be shut at the minute though, so I might go back to my hotel for a bit and then come back out a bit later and see if anything's open. So this is the Ark of Khiva, I think. Or maybe this is the Juma Mosque. It's really difficult to navigate this place. There's just no maps. So I'm assuming this would have been the throne room for the Khan of Khiva. Left a throne here, keeping a door shut. I think I'm going to go back to my hotel for a couple of hours. I didn't really get much sleep last night and it's freezing cold and windy and I need to warm up, and then I'll come back out in a bit and hopefully more things will be open and we can actually make use of this £15 ticket. So behind me is the local arena. Apparently they have a lot of boxing matches here. When we head back the other way, we can have a sneak peek inside. It's also the football stadium for Khiva, for mighty Khiva FC. I'm just on my way to a supermarket quickly before the sun sets, and then we'll head back into the old city to see it all lit up at night before drawing this video to an end. So behind me is the bazaar, the local market, and the infrastructure here has got decidedly more basic, ramshackle, rural. So I've just been to a bancomat, an ATM, to withdraw some cash, and a guy was insisting that he stood and watched me do it. So I walked out and he followed me to a different ATM, and it took 10 minutes to give me my card back, so I think I might have been cloned. but I've managed to get 300,000 som, which should last me until I leave Khiva. I need to now call into the supermarket, head back to my hotel quickly, and then the sun's just about to set, so we'll then head back into the old city. I think there's been a power cut in the supermarket. No electricity. The fridges are turned off. The till can't work. We have light. The electricity's just come back on. So the supermarket lost its energy for a while, came back on, but they couldn't give me change conveniently, so they gave me a pack of you and me chewing gum instead. Now let's head back into the centre. And if you want your fresh fish, you know where to come. Your local roadside fishmonger. Dead fish in stinky water. And then a guy, when I walked past earlier, was struggling to catch them. They're literally dead at the bottom of a tank. So every building in Khiva is either a Doik sauna, however you pronounce it, which is a chemist, a pharmacy, or a stomatologia, which is a dentist. I don't think this area gets many tourists. All the locals are just staring at me when I walk past. This is where all the hospitals are in Khiva. There's about 4 hospitals across the road, a couple of ambulance. I say ambulance, it's like a mashrutka with a red cross painted on it. Well, yeah, let's head back into the centre. And I didn't get what I needed from the supermarket, so let's go and catch the sunset before it sets. About 6:30 at night, the sun is just starting to fall over the horizon, so we're heading back in to the Ichan Kala, into the old city, to watch the lights come on and see if we can get some food. So just finished up in Terrassa restaurant. That one behind me. So that's the 3rd vegetarian plov I've had since coming to Uzbekistan. That was probably the best and the biggest, but it was also twice as expensive as any others I've had. So it was 80,000 som, I think, which is about £4. But we've kind of missed the sunset, but now the Ichan Kala, the old city, is now lit up. So let's have a walk around the nighttime old city and see what it looks like in the dark, all lit up. It's also considerably quieter. Reminds me of somewhere like ancient Egypt. The Egyptian tombs lit up at Karnak. Oh. He's probably the friendliest Uzbek I've met so far. He's actively said hello without wanting anything in return. So it feels really odd just walking around an almost deserted historic city like this at night, all lit up with spotlights. And I think that's the thing. This is geared towards tourists now. Obviously it wasn't originally, but it's now. There's spotlights, there's museums, hotels in the old quarter. So I think it is like a historic version of Disneyland. I think the reviews online on that were right. This should be full of locals. It should be used by locals, but some of the prices that the restaurants are charging here, locals could never afford them. So it's almost like a tourism enclave surrounded by the real Khiva, which I saw when I was going shopping earlier. So this just doesn't feel right. Bukhara was real. Samarkand was real. This just feels too touristy. That's not to say don't come here, because the money contributes to the local economy. It just feels very strange, very different. And I think this is probably a good place to draw this video to a close. I hope you've enjoyed coming around Khiva at day and night and seeing what kind of food you can get here as well. I am also deciding that it's probably time to go home, back to the UK. So there's probably going to be one more video from Khiva that's a little bit different. And then I need to figure out how to get home. Because Ryanair doesn't fly here just yet. I'm sure they will at some point. But I'm going to have to figure out which airline, which route I can take to get back to the UK. But please give this video a like and subscribe. 96% of people watching are not subscribers, so this is really hurting my my YouTube placements of my videos. So I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe and give it a like. And I'll see you in the next one. So I spoke to YouTube and they said you would also like these cool videos from my channel. So please also check these ones out.